You're live. Did it work? Can you hear me? Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming. For some reason, I clicked go live and it didn't. So I refreshed the page thinking I was going to kick you all out. And for some reason, it didn't. So let me know if you can hear me. Can anybody hear me?
It's ads.
Or is it ads?
Oh, no, that's not it.
Hello? Can you hear me? All good? Yes, we can hear me. Excellent. Hello, everybody. Thanks for coming and turning up. Sorry about the technical thing. This is the third chat that I've done, and it's the third one not to work from the beginning. Great. I clicked the go live button and nothing happened. So I just refreshed the page thinking it was going to kick you all out, and it didn't. So that worked, didn't it? So not too bad. Hi, everybody. Wow, there's loads of you turning up. That's cool. So basically, Rebecca's in the chat because I can't talk and read and understand because I'm not that smart. So if you want to ask a question, address it to Rebecca. She will put it on a bit of paper and slap it in my face. Then I'll be able to actually read it. Hello, everyone. Hello, William. Lars. Tom. Hey, Tom, how you doing? Paul. Mark. I recognize a few of these names. Right, so I've got some topics to talk about, and then we can just do some questions. A few of you guys have sent in some questions before, so I've gotten those written down. So I'll start off with those, and then we'll deviate on whatever you guys want to talk about. So who should we start with? Let's start with Andrew. Andrew sent me an email, and he said, do you think there's a market for starter F1 and Le Mans cars? You didn't really say what kind of budget, starting budget, whether that's like £50, £100 or whatever. I'm not a massive F1 racing guy, so I don't really have loads of knowledge on it. I like F1 because I like F1 racing, and I like collecting the RC cars because they look really cool. They are fun to drive, but I've never raced them. If a company was gonna do a budget entry F1 car, I would think they would probably do a sorry, it's my Alexa going crazy. They would probably do a high-end one and then bring the kit down from that, because you've got to do all the R&D and things like that. So they'd probably make the kit to a certain level, and then if there was a market, then they would bring it down in materials and stuff like that. But I honestly don't know. I don't know what the kind of market size is for that kind of thing. There's always been a business plan for producing a car, then having lots of upgrade parts for it. But going the other way around, I don't know. What do you guys think? Put in the comments. Any F1 drivers out there that actually go racing, put your comments in. What do you think? Personally, I get the idea that if you're an F1 racing driver and you go racing, that you throw loads of money at your cars to go quick. So budget, probably not. So the second question, he asked me 3 questions. The second question, will we see an RC10 versus an RC10 on the Bugrag track? Yes, you will. I have got 3 RC10s currently. I've got 2 that have done absolutely nothing since they came on the show. And apart from I've changed the tires and I've got a new body for them. So I will put one of these around the track once I've painted it. But I also have an RC10 graphite as well. So I will be putting these around the Bugrag track to get some times, because it'd be really interesting to know. So that will come, but I still need to actually paint the bodies up. I've got quite a few like that. And what was his final question? Oh, he also asked, this is quite a good one. He said, how in the world can Tamiya justify 4 very different cars at one price point? So basically, he sent me a photograph of you could get a Hornet, a TT02, a Grasshopper, and a DT03 racing fighter, all for £99. And I guess what he's trying to say is, well, some are 2-wheel drive and some are 4-wheel drive. How can they all be priced at £99.99? The only thing I can think of personally is that Tamiya knows that there's a price point to get people into those cars. So when they do the manufacturing of those cars, they'll know what their margins are like, and they will adjust accordingly. So it could be that out of those sort of 4 cars or 5 cars, some of them are making no profit, some of them are making slightly more profit, but that's the way they've done it, just to give you a range. That's my best guess. I've got no kind of proof on that. That's just going by, you know, business in general. So there you go. And that was his question. Jeffrey Gillan, he said, why do I keep skipping my TTO2B in my collections video? No reason at all. The first time I did my collection video, it was in there right at the beginning, and I haven't changed anything with that car. I've got it here. Here it is. This one, this is the car he's talking about. It's dusty. Now, this is one of the first cars that came onto RCKicks, and it's a fully modified TTO2B that I strapped some crazy fast brushless system into it, and it's absolutely insane. Then I spent an absolute fortune, and there's a video on this car with listing all the parts and everything, and I basically ruined this car. It looks cool, it looks really good, and it's very blingy and everything like that, but it's terrible to drive now. I've totally trashed it. You also wanted to know what wheels they are. Well, they're just the Avanti lightweight wheels. So it's a looker. I can't sell it because what it costs to build it, I'd never get my money back. The parts on this car, you know, if you add them all up, they'd be insane. So I can't really sell it. It looks cool, but I don't drive it at all, really. So I'm kind of stuck with it. But being that it was one of the first cars on the channel, I'll live with it. What else have we got? So Johnny, no, so that's a different one. So Johnny, he said he's getting back into RC. The last time he was in RC, he was in the 80s. He's just bought himself a Kyosho Turbo Optima, which is a bloody good start. He wants to know what else you need to get going back in the RC world. Well, you've started off very well. I'll take my hat off to you. You have bought probably one of the best kits you can get from a Riri. I am a massive fan of this. It is absolutely stunning. Beautiful car, lovely quality, not cheap, very expensive. And we'll come on to talking about prices, because I think a lot of people now want to discuss pricing of RC cars. So what else do you need? Stick to the basics if you're just getting back into it. Definitely do a bit of research for brushless and do a bit more research for lipo, because they're new technologies that were never around in the 80s, and they're very different, and they bring extra stuff to the table, but they also are a little bit, especially the lipo batteries, you kind of got to get your head around them, because there is negative sides to lipo batteries, like they'll burn your house down, you know, little things like that. So I would definitely look up brushless and definitely look up lipo batteries, but stick to your basics. Transmitters, receivers haven't really changed. It's the same setup for that kind of thing. Obviously, you only need one servo now because you're running an electronic speed controller, even though I guess back in the 80s, you probably were getting into electronic speed controllers anyway. Then paint, scissors, go at it, and then just mess around with that one car and then go from there. Don't go buying tons and tons of stuff. It just adds up to be too expensive. And then if you go off it in 6 months, you haven't spent an absolute fortune. If you paint up this car well, you will definitely get your money back, because they're quite hard to get hold of at the moment. What else have we got? Arash, sorry if I butcher any of your names. He wants to know, why is the Terra Scorcher discontinued? Now, he sent that to me in an email this morning, and I was like, I didn't know that. So sure enough, I went and had a look, and they're discontinuing it, which I'm really surprised at, because it hasn't been out very long. And then I kind of thought about it for a while. Well, why would they discontinue it so soon? And it's because the Fire Dragon's coming out. So it makes complete sense, because the Fire Dragon, from what I can tell, is going to be the same price as the Terra Scorcher. But obviously the Terra Scorcher is a higher specification car than the Fire Dragon was. So I'm guessing that what Tamiya are doing now is discontinuing it, allowing a bit of time to go on before they bring out the Fire Dragon, which is actually supposed to be a cheaper kit, but it looks like it's going to be the same price. Now, I had a look today, and you can get Terra Scorchers online for about £189 to £190. And the RIP price that's supposed to be for the Fire Dragon is £195. So if you're in the market for a Terra Scorcher, I would buy it now. Got one over here. This is my one. Obviously, it doesn't come with the gold wheels. I think that's all I've done different to. Oh, I've upgraded the front part to the metal, you know, the weak part of the front, and put some blingy wheels on it. But apart from that, it is stock. So if you want one of these, I would get it now because they're going to go up in price. That's for sure. Unfortunately, what happens is people will buy them up and then hold them and then sell them for £300, which is a bit of a shame. So, yeah, grab one of these now. I almost thought about buying another one today, but I just couldn't justify it. So I'm getting the Fire Dragon. The Fire Dragon is coming when it's released, but I can recommend getting one of these soon for sure before you miss out. So that's the reason why they're cancelling it, as far as I know. Ben contacted me and he said, what's my thoughts on pre-painted and finished bodies like the Vanquish, the Rally Escort, the Avanti, and the Comical that came out? There's pros and cons to both sides, right? Now, I like to paint my bodies, but then sometimes I can't really be bothered because I'm busy. And obviously when the weather's really bad, and it's a bit annoying when I'm trying to get a body done, but the weather's really bad. But that's more my situation. That's not necessarily someone who's just wants to build a kit. Some people, I guess it comes down to whether you like the painting aspect. Some people hate it and it puts them off. Other people love it and really see it as a part that makes the car theirs. I guess with the way things are going, that people are losing their skills when it comes to things like painting and masking and stuff like that. They're trying to make it more accessible, I guess. But you can, most of the cars that have come out that have had a painted body, you do get the option to then get a body that's clear. Obviously, you could say, yeah, but I've just bought the kit and now I have to buy another body, which is another £30 on top. So, I mean, it would be too expensive for them to do two separate cars like that. So, there we go. So, I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence on that one. This is a really good one from Colin. Colin says to me, will the RC hobby ever die out? It peaked in the 80s, and now with all the Riris and the people that were around in the 80s now growing up and being able to buy Riri cars and things like that, will it die out? Now, this is actually a really good one, and I've had this conversation with a few people that the Riri window is only open for a short period of time. Like now is the prime time. That's why I always say Tamiya needs to be banging out their Riris, and all the manufacturers need to be putting their Riris out now, because it's like at the peak. If you look at the youngsters in the 80s and where they are now with their income and the nostalgia and their, you know, that kind of stuff, bringing out Riris, people can buy them. But what happens in another 15 years? Will there be anybody new coming in to buy Riris? That I don't think so. It kind of, there was a peak in the 80s, it dried up, and then it's come back again. So it could possibly go that way. I mean, there's a lot of people who do a lot of drone flying and stuff like that, but drones are more of a practical thing. It's about performance. There's no character to them. So it's not like if you take the vintage Tamiyas. I can't see somebody later on down the line looking back and going, oh, I remember getting this drone and it was a racing drone, and it's, you know, they're kind of carbon fiber. They're designed to do something. There's no character. They're not character cars like these. I've got characters to them. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but, you know, but yes, it could well die out. Let's talk about pricing. This is a big one. Everybody that speaks to me, sends me messages, a bit concerned about what's going on with prices. And when I did my prediction videos, I was miles off on how crazy things have got. And they seem to be getting worse and worse and worse. But the one thing I'd like to put to you guys, do you think the manufacturers are getting on board? Do you think that the manufacturers have seen prices of what things are going for and have now put up the kit prices? Because I put some prices together. The Avanti 2011, which was just re-released, which I've got, is retailing for £439. The Vanquish, which everybody has said is ridiculously overpriced, and it'd be interesting to know if how many of you actually bought them anyway, is £339. So you can say, oh yes, but that's £100 less than the Avanti, but you're talking full plastic versus what you get from an Avanti. But then you see that in Kuroshio Optimas are £369. Kuroshio Javelins are £309. The fighting buggy that's being reissued again in the early January and February, that's coming out at just under £300. So is it the manufacturers getting on board? Because these prices seem very expensive to me. But then I can't remember a lot of the kits that I bought over time. I can't remember what I paid for them and things like that. But the whole RC hobby seems to be getting insanely expensive. Everything is now another £80, another £100, you know. And I worry that it's going to put a lot of people off. And obviously we want to grow the RC community, especially the re-res and all that and stuff, and people coming back into the hobby from back in the 80s. And then they're kind of like, oh, I really remember I couldn't afford these cars when I was younger. Oh, look, I'm now 30, 38, 45, and I still can't afford them. That's nuts. We don't want that. That's a horrible thing. That I remember when I was younger, looking at all these cars in BTs and going, oh, I wish I could have that. I wish I could have that. And then now you look and you go, oh, I wish I could have that. Oh my God, nothing's changed. That's terrible. And there is some cars for me that are too expensive. I'm trying. There's a couple of cars I'd like to get hold of that are just too expensive. One of them is the RC10 Worlds car. They're just £300-400 all day long, so that's a lot of money. So they're starting to miss out on a few of those kind of cars. I mean, it used to be just the Blazing Blazer was up there at £1,000 on its own, but now everything seems to be creeping up there. You want to get yourself a. Where is it? Oh, sorry. I did a video on this, and I think these have become almost unattainable to just people that want to get into the hobby to find a good one. So hopefully they'll re it, but then let's not hope it's £300-400. But yeah, I don't know. Oh God, they're coming through fast. What else have we got? Done those ones. So Johnny asks, will I be getting an F1 track? I wish I could get a tarmac track. Obviously I've got the garden one, which I've kind of knocked together, and it's in its really early stages. I will put more money into that track. Cones will go. The cones work really well in real life. When you film them, they don't make much sense. So I'm hoping to get like a 5-centimeter rope, like 100 meters of it, to lay out to give a proper track so it shows up better in the camera. Also, I want to get a better drone so I can do some overhead shots of the track as well. I plan to do that. But really, I wanted to make sure that you guys wanted to see that kind of stuff, and getting some times on the boards and things like that before I invested in it. But as for a tarmac track, I would love to find one. But again, it's trying to find a place that I can actually use. Someone sent me, why don't I put out the specifications of the track, which is what I will do that. I will measure all the points and I will put it into a document so that you could just buy a set of cones, measure it out, and you can have exact same track. Also, if you drive your car around the track, and you can download the app. I can't remember the name of the app, but I'll put it on Facebook. It's free. You can download it. If you drive your car around it and you film it and you send it to me with the time and the lap, so I can see it and put it on the channel, I'll put yours up on the board. And I think you'll only need about 5 or 6 markers to make it work. So I'm going to do that. So that'll be a bit of fun. So it'd be nice to see people sending in their cars as well. And obviously that can be on grass or tarmac. So we'll see. We'll see. Martin's bought a hot shot for Christmas, and he wants to know what else he should do with it, as in like upgrades and stuff like that. The hot shot is a fantastic looking car. It's lovely to drive. It's obviously being four-wheel drive, it's a little bit heavier, so put a slightly more powerful motor in it. I've got a sports tuned in my one, and it's a bit sluggish, and they can take more power. There's a viewer on the channel who's got a boomerang. He runs brushless, totally stock, and it flies, absolutely flies, and it's fine. So the hotshot can take a reasonable amount of power. So I will see, if you're going to go brushless, don't go nuts, but you can put a much hotter brushed motor in it, which is what I'm going to do to run it around the track again, because it drove so nicely, it just needed more power. So I will do a hotter motor in my one. Obviously, bearings, that goes with every car. I put bearings in all my cars because that's crazy not to. Apart from that, just drive it and enjoy it. It's a fantastic car. Absolutely gorgeous. This is my original unrestored. Still got dirt on it from the other day. If you look at when I bought it, it's been sitting in a shed or something. Look what happened to the spring. It's gone kind of like weird, like rusty, but not. It's strange. It works. I've got all vintage parts for this to restore it, but I don't really want to restore it, because if I restore it, I won't drive it. And I really enjoy driving that, so I haven't touched it. I mean, it's in pretty good condition, as you can see, but it needs a faster motor, that's for sure. It's a torque tuned in it, not sports tuned, but it's too slow. It needs to go faster. Right, what else have we got? Oh, look, loads. Right, we're going to go on to the questions that you've been asking Rebecca. Do you have a local? Racing 393 says, do I have a local RC track? There is one just down the road from me, and I found it purely by accident. But obviously we've been in lockdown forever now, so I haven't had a chance to go down there. It's a buggy track. I think it's a kind of AstroTurf or carpet or something. I can't even get into it. It's in a field. I have no idea what group it is or anything. I'm tempted to, once this lockdown kicks off and obviously we get through winter, to see if I can find out who it is, because there's lots of times it'd be nice to be able to go down there, because I can jump in the car and be there in 5 minutes. So it'd be nice to see who it is and make friends and see whether I can actually use their track. That would be pretty cool, being so close. And obviously then doing more filming with it. What else have we got? I'm drowning in the paper here. It's Racing 393 again. Do you like Nitro RC cars? No, is the answer to that one. Sorry. Do I like them? No, they're too noisy and they're smelly and messy. And yeah, I'm totally happy with electric. They're just easy, they're quiet. If I drive Nitro cars around, I just annoy everybody. So and then obviously storing them, I don't have a garage, so I'd have to store them in somewhere. And so no, not really that interested in. I am interested in those little motors you can get. I don't know if you've seen Kevin Talbot's channel. He's got loads of little engines and stuff. They're pretty cool, but that's just a bit of fun. That's got nothing to do with RC really. Even though I've seen a few people stick some in crawlers and stuff like that. But no, not really. I have enough hassle with my petrol mowers, my strimmers and stuff like that. When am I going to finish the Dinosaur? That's a really good question. Here it is. It's been sitting here doing absolutely nothing. I want to put this around the track, so I've got to finish it. That's my motivation to paint the body. This is all original, apart from I had to put new wheels on it because they perished. But I managed to find the correct tires. They are the cones, not the squares. And it's got a nice active power motor in it as well. So yes, this will go around the track, and that's my motivation to finish it. This is an original body and everything. I've got the decals and it's all waiting to go. It's just fitting it in. I don't like the box art for this car at all. I think it's very dark, and it's like a dark blue and something or other. So I'd like to get a professional painter to do me like a racing paint job on it or something, because it's such a nice car. Lovely. And I'm pretty sure this is going to be really quick. Yeah, lovely. So yeah, sorry about that. So this is from Gareth. What one-to-one car never made it into a hobby grade RC would you like to see? Ooh. I honestly don't know. I would say Defender, but of course you can get Defenders. I would like to see the Mini come back again from Tamiya, because I'd love one of those. I used to have a Mini back in the day, so I'd like to get one of those again, because obviously they're really difficult to get hold of, especially new in-box ones, and they're expensive as well. So I would say I'd love to see the Mini again from Tamiya, but I can't think off the top of my head. Maybe a latest Formula One car would be nice. A really modern Formula One car from this year with all the aero on it and stuff like that. I honestly can't think. Have I tried Tamiya's ratcheting screwdriver? No, I've seen it, but I haven't used it. Maybe I should just get one on the show and see what it's like. I don't know. Comment below if you've got one and you use it. Do you recommend it? I definitely want to get a electric screwdriver. But I never seem to get around to it, especially for dismantling cars more than doing them up. So I need to buy one of those at some point with the actual Allen key set that you use. But I just make do with screwdrivers at the moment. But I will get one. I have got a really small one, but it's too weedy. But no, I haven't used it. Nathan asks, how many cars do I have in total? You can't ask questions like that. I think about 11. Felipe wants to see the K1 Aero car. That's my go-to car. I've got to dig it out. It's right down here. Hold on. Here we go. You can pick these up dirt cheap. It's a lot. You can get a lot of car for the money. This is a K1 Aero, but there's a K1 as well. They, because they've been surpassed by their other cars, these get much cheaper, but they're still amazing. It's all carbon, runs a saddle pack on both sides. This is running brushless, if I remember rightly. Yeah, no problems with this car at all. I treat this so badly. I put a sticker on the bottom of it just to protect it a little bit, but I abuse the life out of this thing. And it's quick, and it's the fastest thing around the track at the moment at 8.10. Yeah, easy to drive, very planted. Love it, absolutely love it. Obviously, it doesn't. I wouldn't say it's a character car. It's got that kind of. A lot of people hate these kind of bodies. I don't mind them personally. I think they look very modern, but yeah, they don't offend me at all. Big fan, big fan. I didn't build this one. I bought it pre-made. I think I paid like £130 for it. And I had another one of these, and I sold that for like £99. So you can pick them up really, really easily. Blue Bug, I think it is, or Blue 66 Bug. Are you going to get a Blitzer Beetle or Stadium Thunder? I actually had a Stadium Thunder, I think. Or was it a Blitzer? I can't remember which one it was. I did have one. I think it was the... I honestly can't remember what it's called now. Hold on a sec. Yeah, it's the Blitzer one. The one that's a bit like the... Sorry, I've forgotten the name of it. Obviously, I've got this. That's why I sold that one, which is the Stadium Thunder, was it? No, what was it? I can't remember what it's called. It's a white one with the numbers on it. Oh my God, I'm getting old. So I got this. Now, I restored this. This is in mint condition. So this is the only Stadium sort of truck that I have. And this is nothing like the Blitzer or Stadium Thunder and stuff like that. This is completely different. They look almost the same. And I get the feeling that the reason you don't see many of these is because the price point of these versus the Stadium Thunders and stuff like that, they're very different, but they look almost the same. But this under here is a completely different chassis. This has actually got high caps on it as well. I don't know if you can see. It's got vintage high caps on it. Hold on, let me take the body off and I'll show you. I will put this around the track as well. So this is a proper race. I don't know if you can see. It's got a Technipower pink motor in it, high caps in it. This is basically... I never do this. Come on. That is almost that. That's its sister car. So you can see where the pedigree comes from. See the gearboxes? So if you ever get a chance to get one of those, grab it while you can. They're super hard to get hold of. And but I will put this round the track. But this one is full of, I've even got some screws to change over. That's the level that I'm at. I'm restoring this one. But I've put a new chassis on it. There's loads of videos on this one. But the high caps I did quite recently. It's lovely. It's basically mint. And I did a body for it. That's not the original body. Big fan. Absolutely big fan. So, no, I don't really feel the need for another Stadium truck. I feel like I've kind of got the highest level they did. So, and I'm really happy with the condition of it. So... And I love this paint job. Absolutely adore it. It's really, really nice. So, I mean, look at the front track of it. This is crazy. Look, I mean, look. So, there we go on that one. Oh, which ones have I done? Which ones I haven't done? These ones. How are we doing for time? Half past. Okay. Because last time I rattled on for nearly 2 hours. Oh my God, there's loads of questions. So, Park Fleming, he says, how do you afford your cars? The wife pays for them. Basically, when I started collecting about two and a bit years ago, I was obviously working full time and I had a well-paid job back then, and then I gave it up. So I bought a lot of cars. Don't forget, 2.5 years ago, cars were a lot cheaper. I couldn't do this now with the current prices. That's how much it's changed in the last couple of years. And I picked up a lot of cars that I've restored as well, especially my Koosho ones. A lot of them need restoring, but I've been restoring them slowly. Koosho cars never really show up on the channel because they take so long to restore, but prices on these are insane. Now the collection has changed because I've kind of got most of the cars that are part of my collection that I really wanted. There's only a few that I don't have that I would like. Celica, a couple of them. But mostly I've got everything I wanted. The last car I was really trying to hunt down was the Jun Watanabe. That was one I've been chasing for a while. The cars that I would like to get that I can't get at the moment, I've lost my bit of paper, was a RC10 World's car, a wild one. a wild one. I will get one of those, but a wild one, they've gone a bit expensive because I kind of missed the window. And I think that's pretty much it at the moment. So the cars you kind of see coming now are more the latest stuff. And I try to get the latest stuff in for you guys so you guys can see it. So if you're going to go and buy it, that you've got some content that you can see before you buy it. So you can have a good nose at all the parts. And then if I build it and you see me building it and things like that, then you go, well, yeah, I really like that. Or no, it's not for me. So I tend to buy a lot of the newer stuff. Now, I do buy some of those cars that come in. And then sometimes I get sponsorships for certain cars. So, for instance, this is a new one that will be out soon. Bit of a spoiler for you. That is a sponsorship chassis build from Euro RC. So they sent me that, and I'll do a few videos on it, build it. There'll be a video out on this tomorrow. So that I didn't buy that one. Then another one would be like this one from Camtech. Now, the previous one that I had from Camtech, which is this one here, I bought that one myself. This one is from them. So that's a sponsored build. I've got the body and everything, and there's all that in there. So they're sponsoring that. So I didn't pay for this one. Then this one, you've probably seen the unboxing for it, but I haven't started building it yet, from Schumacher. I purchased that myself with my own money. I am lucky enough to be able to get kits at cost. I have a supplier who will actually give them to me at cost, but obviously that's still, you know, the margins on the kits is not massive. It's not like this kit was £300 and really it's £200. The margins on kits are very, very small. So usually I can probably, I mean, it varies, but usually it might be anything from £20-30 cheaper up to big kits, £80, £100 different if it's a very, very expensive kit. But they vary. But it's not like, oh, I got this for £35 and it's a £300 kit. No. And I think the Icon is £299. But Schumacher, it's the wrong way around on me. Schumacher don't sponsor RCKicks at the moment. I have never spoke to Schumacher at all. I need to talk to them at some point because I keep buying all their cars. So it's about time they started sponsoring my stuff. So yeah, that's kind of how it works. And then obviously if it's a car I see on eBay secondhand or something like that, there's a few people like Barry, for instance, who can pick up old vintage cars for me. So I've known him for a while. So he sometimes contacts me and go, Gav, I've got this. Do you want it? But since I gave up my lucrative job, he stopped contacting me because he knows I don't have as much money as I used to have, because he sold me so many cars a couple of years ago. So there you go. So that's, you know, how I kind of afford them now, really. But I couldn't buy this right now. This is obviously taking a long time. Right, what else have we got? Mark, Quershow Mini Z, have you got this? What are your thoughts? No, I don't have them. I'm more of a 110 kind of person. If Quershow wanted to send me some Mini Zs to play with, I'd happily play with them. And to be fair, I can see why they do it and why they're popular. It's because space. If you want a track for a Mini Z, yeah, it still takes up a reasonable amount of room, but it's not like a 1/10 track, is it? So I can see why people have why they're popular. But for me, I don't know. I don't really want to spend the money to get one to find out whether I like it or not. So I'd never really. But sometimes I think I'm not going to like something, and then I do. And other times I think I'm going to love it, and then I don't. So, Quershow, yeah, send me one. Thanks, Mark. SVG, are you interested in drift cars? Yes, I am, even though I don't have any on the show. Yes, drift cars for sure. I will at some point bring a drift car to the show. I've messed around with gyros a few times, but I've had no success with gyros at all. I put one in a rear-wheel drive TT02 Porsche, and I had no luck with it at all. But yes, I would like to get a dedicated drifter car and build it on the show with the much, proper steering and the proper wheels and everything. It's just when it turns up. But definitely, I'm interested in loads of RCs. Just because you don't see them here doesn't mean I'm not interested in them. Tanks. I so want to get a couple of tanks, Tamiya tank, trucks. Now, I wasn't even interested in trucks, but I seem to have got into, yeah, I'm going to get a truck at some point. They're just so expensive, so it's very hard for me to spend that kind of money. But at some point, a truck and a trailer would be cool. So yeah, just watch this space. It'll all come over time. I'm kind of in buggies and cars at the moment. But no, if Tamiya phoned me up and said, hey, we're going to send you a tank, will you build it for us? Oh yeah, I'd have it on the show next week. So there we go. Ben Apple says, what is the best way non-Patreons can help the channel? Well, you're kind of doing it, really. You're putting up with me and watching me. So I can't say fairer than that, obviously. You know, I mean, to say to the patrons who do support the show, it massively helps because at the moment the channel doesn't make enough for me to sustain it. So I'm making a loss every month. Now, obviously, it's been, what, 4 or 5 months so far. And things are improving. It's been really good the last couple of months, but there is like a minimum requirement where I need to break even. And I'm getting closer and closer to it all the time. I mean, it is a minimum, but I think hopefully we will get there by April. I'm hoping April. Maybe that's a little bit optimistic, but obviously my main concern is that I can actually, it's time. I know the channel will get there, but how long I can keep it going before I have to say, right, I can't, I'll have to dial it right back to, I mean, at the moment I'm trying to put out a video every 2 days, which is a lot of content. That's including filming it, doing the actual content, editing it and releasing it. So it is taking up a lot of time, and that's not really sustainable for a long time. But obviously I have that issue that I need to get to that level as fast as possible. So it's worth it, because what I really don't want to do is I don't want to have to say, I'm going to do a part-time something and then I'll do this part-time, because to grow this now, I think you have to do it full-time. Unless you've got loads and loads of budget where you can employ someone to do your editing and someone to do your camera work for you, because you have to do everything yourself. And I try to read all the comments, and I'm trying to be active on Facebook and the YouTube comments, and that takes up quite a bit of time, as well as all the emails that come in, responding to them and trying to be present instead of just disappearing, and you only see the videos and you don't see any comments and stuff like that from me. But we'll get there. We will get there. You can also say a massive thank you to Rebecca, because she's basically sponsoring the YouTube. She's the investor at the moment. What is your dream RC car? Money, no object. Well, I kind of got them, really, apart from the world's car that I mentioned before. That's probably the last one that I'm really after. An F201. I would like a new inbox F201, which is a Formula One car that is very much like the TC01 that's just come out not that long ago, which is down here. If you look at the new TC01, if you look up F201, it's got the onboard shocks and everything, and it's like the grandfather of this. I'd like one of those, new inbox, and I almost bought one, but again, they're quite expensive. Formula One cars are funny on the show. If I bring a Formula One car on the show, it doesn't pick up as much attention, but over a longer period of time, it does. Some videos shoot up straight away. Some are like long burner videos where it just takes time, but they slowly chunk up. And if you go and look at some of my Formula One videos where I've restored the McLaren Senna MP4, I think it is, that video didn't do very well, but over time it really has. So one of those. So yeah, I've got most of my dream cars, to be fair, and I'm very lucky to be in that position. Where else do we get? Done that one. Okay, so this is from, oh, sorry, my Alexa's going to kick in again. What are your thoughts on Traxxas?
Something went wrong.
What are your thoughts on Traxxas? Again, love them. Really, really good. I've got a Traxxas TRX4. Bashed the living daylights out of it, modified it, and there is more content coming on the TRX4. There is someone who watches the show who's actually doing something, and there's going to be some potential content for that. So that will come back on the show. I usually use that for just bashing when we go to the beach and stuff. And I don't give it any love. I've modified it a reasonable amount. The other Traxxas stuff, the problem I've got at the moment is I like bashing as well. As well as collecting vintage stuff, I do like taking stuff and just ramping it and things like that. But there's two main problems why I don't have them on the show at the moment. One, the big Traxxas X Maxes and stuff like that, they're £1,000, £900 easy, or £800 for a 6S, whatever. So they're very expensive. So obviously I can buy more content, more cars with content that's more unique, vintage stuff and things like that for the channel than to buy something like that. Plus, the other thing that kind of compounds that problem is that in the UK, when Traxxas or any of the big American companies bring something out, we have to wait. So what happens is, say a car comes out today from Traxxas, all the American RC channels get it instantly. Some of them get it ahead of time, and they're banging out content, and the YouTube has loads and loads of content. And then months later, I get one, and then I've spent £900 on it. And then it's difficult for a channel so small to be able to compete in any way. But that doesn't mean as the channel grows, I won't then do that anyway. But the main thing that stops me from doing bashing stuff at the moment is purely that I think I can put that money into other things, you know, from that point of view. But that doesn't mean it's not coming. It's just purely budget. Am I going to, so this is Daniel, am I going to get a Sand Viper? No plans on getting one, to be fair. Yeah, not that I know of, unless one falls in my lap. Sometimes cars fall in my lap, and they sort of just arrive, and you know, things line up. I don't know if that makes any sense, but sometimes people contact me and say, I've got one of these, do you want it really cheap or something like that? And then I get it on the show. But it's not really something I'm looking at adding at the moment. Tom says, what has been my most enjoyable build? That's an easy one. This one. That one. That's like putting a precision watch together. It was so beautiful, so easy, and love it. The quality is just amazing. If you want to get the best Riri that was ever made so far, this is it. This is it. Or you got different variants of it, obviously, with the Javelin and stuff like that. This is my worst, but I love it anyway. What's the most expensive car I own? It's not the one we drive, that's for sure. My most expensive car. Probably, I don't know. Maybe this one. Maybe they're kind of gone down in price a little bit. They're about what, 400 or 500 quid, give or take, depending on what motor you put in it. My 959 that I had earlier. My Clodbuster, probably, because that's highly modified. That's quite a valuable car. Probably this one. Obviously, this one, I've had the drivers professionally painted. I don't know if you can see in there. The drivers are all professionally painted. The wheels and stuff like that. It's probably this one, maybe. Can't really think. The Avanti Black, maybe. The Formula One cars can be quite expensive, but they're very nichey, so prices vary a lot on that front. Prices. this one. That's a lovely car, that is. It's mint. But unfortunately, all of them have got quite expensive. So it's a bit of a shame, really. Right, what else have we got? Done that. Right. I think we did this. Yeah, I think we're done. Anybody else got any questions? How long are we doing? It's been almost an hour, so that's pretty much perfect. Got one more? I've got a couple. Oh, we've got 3 more here. I like your news. So is this Dan? I like your news show. Will you do more? Yes, you guys really like the news stuff. So yes, I will definitely be doing more news stuff across the board. And I want to try and add more manufacturers to the news. Mainly at the moment, I kind of follow the news of Schumacher, Tamiya, Kuosho, and that kind of thing. But I'd like to start adding some more news from other manufacturers. The main thing about the news is obviously getting the information quickly so that I can bring you really cutting edge news, not stuff that like people watch it. I think if it's things that are like, oh, I didn't know that, and oh, I didn't know about that. Whereas if it's like, yeah, I heard about that a week ago, heard about that. But definitely, yeah, I will be adding more. Obviously, we're going up to Christmas now, so there's a lot more news coming. But if you hear anything straight away, send us a message and let us know. And I'll jump on it as soon as I can if it's something super hot off the press. And news comes from all different places. It's funny how you would think you would find one source would bring you the most amount of information, but it comes from all over the place. So yeah, if you hear anything or see anything that's brand new, or you know, let us know straight away. I live in the studio. This is what I do, so I'm always here. But yes, definitely is the answer. Can I fly? Yardley says, can you fly a drone and film a car at the same time? No. I crashed a drone the other day. Well, technically it wasn't my fault I crashed a drone. Basically what happens is the drone that I have has this camera in it, and the drone is great. The camera is pants, absolutely pants. It jumps, it flickers, the frame rate is awful. But it is almost the exact same size as my GoPro. And the GoPro fits in the same slot. So I thought, I know what I'll do is I'll put my GoPro in it. And then I'll be able to get the same quality filming of the cars as I can with the drone. Yeah, the drone didn't like that. It's quite a bit heavier. And it threw off the gyros. So it was kind of wobbling, but it was okay. And then suddenly it just flew off to the left and crashed into the house. Luckily, it didn't damage the house and it didn't damage the drone. The drone still works and it's fine, but the main problem is it needs a better camera. But I have seen that there's an upgrade to that drone where they've changed this camera. So I will probably purchase the better camera for the drone and fit that. Because that's the only problem with it. It's not, the drone is really good. It flies really well. It's easy to work with. It's just I want to make sure that when I cut from a driving shot to a drone shot, you don't want it to like drop down in quality. You want it to be like seamless. But I will definitely. I've also been looking at a couple of other drones, but they're still a couple of £100 minimum, really, £200-300. So that's a big commitment to get a drone. Maybe in the spring, when the weather gets a little bit nicer, I'll buy a drone, because there's a lot of shots that I want to do, especially with the track. Having the drone hovering over the track so you can see a full lap is pretty cool. Also following the car and things like that, which you can do with more modern drones than the one that I've got. But I enjoyed it. I'll probably do. I did think about doing a video on me flying the drone, because I've never flown a drone before. So I thought it'd be quite interesting to show you how rubbish I am at it. So I don't know. Maybe I will. So Crawford says, where apart from eBay do you buy your cars from? I get this question probably at least 2 or 3 times a week. So I'll say it here now, so you guys don't have to keep emailing me the same question. Oh, there's 2 questions I get asked every other day, so I'll cover them both. And the first one is, where do I get my cars from? So the best place that you can find cars is go to the Facebook groups for that car and ask the guys in there and girls in there, because you will find you will get you're more likely to get what you're looking for, and also you're more likely to get it at a reasonable price versus eBay, because eBay prices are usually the highest that you're going to pay. So do that. That's always a good way. Posting, hey, I'm looking for this. Be straightforward. I'm looking for this. I'm in this area. I'm willing to pay this kind of money for a good quality one. Please get in contact with me. And you'll usually someone will say, I've got one of those, or, oh, I think I know someone that's got one, or, oh, I was thinking about selling it. And then you can talk to them and stuff like that. Obviously, you've got to be, you've got to be clued up, as in, just because they're in the forum doesn't mean they can't scam you. You've got to use your brain. Don't just friends and family them the money straight over there and then wonder why they vanished off the face of the earth. So, but it's a good place to go looking. And then obviously eBay as well. That's pretty much it. That's kind of where there's other ways that I find cars, but that's going to be a bit different. Is obviously because I have the channel and stuff like that, and you guys know, I can post somewhere, hey, or mention it in a video, and then someone will contact me. And I do have people that contact me saying, hey, I have this, would you be interested in it? Now and again and stuff like that. So, but obviously that doesn't really cross over. But they're the two. Go to the Facebook pages first, and then eBay after that. And what was the other question I get asked? Oh, yes. The other question I get asked, will I build their car for them on the show and then send it back to them? Now, what's the best way to say this? I get that asked probably 3 times a week. And unfortunately, I have to turn it down for a few reasons. Usually, the shipping to and from, obviously that would have to be covered by the person sending the car to me. So there's that aspect. It doesn't make it financially possible. Then there's the paints and the consumables on top. So even just doing that and me not charging to do it, it adds quite a lot on top of it. Plus, from the other side of it, it's a lot of the cars that people ask me to do on the show are cars that are kind of I've done, or I don't think are really interesting enough or special enough. Now, obviously, if someone said, hey, I've got a Blazing Blazer new in box and I want it built, would you build it? That's different because it's so unique, and then I could build it on the show. Then it has extra value on it. But mostly, so no, I say no. Plus, I have hundreds of kits that I haven't finished. Like, I haven't painted up the new body for this yet. So I do have a lot of my cars that are unfinished projects. I am terrible for that. Sorry, I'm just like you guys. This has been waiting about 4 or 5 months to finish. I've got the drivers done, but I haven't done the body yet. That's on the chimney car. So I'm not sure of content, and also I've got to restore all these and stuff like that. So I usually say no. But if someone's got something super special, you've got a brand new inbox Top Force Evo, I would be interested in building for you, but I couldn't guarantee it would be brilliant. I'm no master painter, that's for sure. I need to practice my painting skills, especially with my airbrushes and my masking up. I really need to go on some proper courses for that, because I need to raise my game up to do more detailed stuff from that point of view. So I think we've got 2 more, and I think we'll call it a day then, because I think you guys have probably had enough of me by now. So have you looked into any of the vintage lossy stuff? So this is another manufacturer I don't have on the show really at all. Don't really know anything about them. I didn't in the past, and I haven't really picked up with anything new either. Obviously, again, it's the same problem that most of it, Lossie's America. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's the American company. So you see it over there. But I honestly, it's not really even on my radar yet. That doesn't mean I wouldn't be interested in it. It's just obviously there's a lot going on with a lot of other stuff at the moment. If Lossie wants to get in contact and send me something to get me interested in their stuff, I have no problem with that. I'll happily build it on a sponsored video for them. But it's not that I don't like them or anything. There's just so much other stuff going on at the moment. Adam asks, what do you think of Kevin Talbot? Now, I don't know if you guys know. Well, you must know who Kevin Talbot is. Kevin Talbot actually doesn't live that far from me. He's very close. He uses some of the skate parks that are really, really close to where I live. I've never met him. I take my hat off to him. I think he does a fantastic job. He has produced a massive channel that is bringing him income so he can do what he likes, and he plays with his cars and he bashes his stuff and he does his other businesses and he's into monster trucks and everything like that. Good on him. I have no issues with that. I mean, he bashes his stuff hard. Hey, that's what he does. That's what he likes. I have no problem with that whatsoever. I'm more into my core stuff is like restoring mint condition things. I do like bashing as well, but if I was going to have bashers, they are bashers. They're not these. You can't really bash this sort of stuff, but that doesn't mean if I wouldn't have like my TRX4, I bash that all the time. That's kind of designed for that sort of thing. But yeah. One day I hope to bump into him while I'm out doing my bits and pieces, because my daughter actually goes to ballet where he does his skate ramps. So one day maybe I'll bump into him. I'll say hello. Yeah, so there you go. But to have a channel so big in such a short time, and obviously you guys love watching him, so good on him. I think that's it. So on that note, I think we'll call it a day. So I will, after this, read through all the chats, because obviously I'm too busy waffling to really read the chats. But I hope it was enjoyable to you. And yeah, I think I've covered everything. I've got a feeling I've forgotten something, but hey, never mind. Maybe it's my name because I'm getting old. All right, guys. Thanks very much. I will read through all your comments, and thanks for coming and taking part and for helping making RCKicks grow. It's been a great year, and hopefully next year is going to be an even better one. So stay safe, stay well, and use this as a chance to get all your RC stuff, buy all your Christmas RC stuff, and spend some time building it all. Don't forget to go and send pictures and comments on the RCKicks Facebook group, as I love to see all the builds that you're doing, and I do check and read them all the time. Anyway, thanks very much. I'll see you soon. Thanks for stopping by. Bye.